Welcome, guys, to another episode of Decisions.
Get a grip, girl.
What, girl? I am in love. I'm having... Girl, it's happening, baby. I am in a relationship. You should see me, though, not wanting to say the L word too early. So I just keep telling everyone we adore each other.
Oh, you know that's you have to say. You have to say. He has to say
adore
first.
is the word. Adore is the word. I'm not saying the L word. I said the L word for the first time in my last. Never the.
You couldn't waterboard it out of me first. He got to say it.
Waterboard is crazy. Yo, it's your girl Mandii B.
I'm Weezy. Welcome back to another episode of Decisions. We're alone, y'all.
Cause y'all been asking for it. By the way, run up. The way y'all been trying to fight us in them YouTube comments, can y'all respect our decision to have guests?
No, because it's a decision for us to get somebody on and y'all be upset about it. What are we supposed to do? We just running the show.
And
but anyway,
you know what? We are going to work on our first 7 minutes. Can we not curse? Because, you know, the YouTube, we already done said, but sorry. And now I know now you got to bleep it again. Let's just work on being thoughtful with our words.
Okay. I will talk. I guess I could talk about the innocent.
Can we? Come on. Real quick.
These braces are going to kick.
Do we want to start with your catch-up? Or Eden did randomly say he had a question for us.
Yeah, we can get into it later.
I guess. Damn, I feel the pressure now. Okay, so as of recent, a friend of a friend of a friend, definitely not me, I promise, not me, right? So they received a letter.
Okay.
Right? They received a letter from their current boyfriend.
From their current boyfriend, okay.
Current boyfriend of, I think they said of 5 years, right? In this letter...
Is he in a war? Why he wrote a letter?
It's interesting. Mind you, it's not even like a sent-in, like, mail letter. No, it's a handed letter. In fact, it wasn't even ripped. It was in a book that he wrote. In the letter, details everything he'd want in a woman.
Okay. Thoughtful.
You would think, right? Considerably, the friend of a friend of a friend who's not me, they didn't take very well to this letter.
Okay.
The letter was written to who?
To them. To
the partner.
To the partner.
Okay.
Listing different things that they'd want in a woman. And they felt like there were so many qualities within that letter that did not fit her description.
Okay.
Things like someone who, like, for example, someone I don't have to micromanage.
Oh, that's a breakup.
That's passive aggressive and
very passive.
Probably a breakup.
Someone I don't have to micromanage. Someone who has a passion in life. Right?
I'm not saying she ain't
someone
passionate.
Who is strong. Someone who
No,
is
you're going to help
kind.
me with my luggage up the stairs.
Right. Now, I have to ask you two. Have you guys ever received certain requests of who you should be to your significant other in a relationship? And if you received this letter, what would you do?
So 2 things. If I received the letter and I genuinely felt like the things that person wanted didn't apply to me, then I would make the conscious decision that I'm not a good fit. I think a lot of times women like try to be something they're not. So for me, if I received a letter, I wouldn't do. So prime example. Oh my God. So my boyfriend is British.
Okay.
And before we we started talking about the things that we like or don't like or things that bother. And I remember we were on the phone and he was like, you know, there's something that normally bothers me because I feel like I'm being mocked. And he was like, so like your British accent, like really is a problem because I feel like you're making fun of me when you get into your accent. And I was so real and honest with him. I said, listen, if you don't like me talking in accents, you don't want to be with me. You don't like me because little do you know, when I'm drunk, when I'm hanging with my friends, when I'm just having regular conversations, I jump in and out of accents that are terrible. And I know my British accent is awful, but I jump in and out of accents, like literally all the time with my homegirls. And I might sound like a British, Jamaican, Irish, Australian.
I think that's unfair.
No. So I told him.
I think your boyfriend deserves you to shut the fuck up if you don't like it.
It is not unfair. Well, here's the thing.
Because what if he was like, for example, when people make fun of American Black women, they normally go to this southern ghetto head bobbing, very loving hip hop-esque voice. What if he was like, what if you were like, I don't feel like doing it? He was like, I don't feel like doing it. You wouldn't like that.
That's an over dramatized stereotype. I do all accents. I don't just do British accents. I also don't sound good doing accents. So he came to me and said something because he thought it was me mocking him. And I said, no, this is me. I also gave him the choice. If that's something that you can't get past, we don't got to be together.
Well, he's an actor who's dating a very bad actress.
No, but not only that, he's an actor who has to talk like an American for roles. So I'm like, you go in and out of your accent and not to. I can't tell you, if we date each other, I don't want to see you doing American accents because I feel like that's offensive. Like, no, like, so.
Well, is it because you're doing it from something he's saying? Like when you
No, I literally just start saying it. I don't even mock him like that. No.
Oh.
The only thing is he does say what. And I think that's funny. Like when he's like explaining something. So instead of but, it's what.
Oh.
So it just sounds funny. And he says whilst a lot. And I know that's like an American term, but I'd never hear like Americans say whilst.
You mean English? What do you mean?
But English. But
no,
American
you said
English.
I know it's an American term.
Like, because whilst is in the, like.
Whilst.
Oh, you mean English?
But it sounds like English to me.
No. Do that again. You didn't see that?
What?
Oh, you mean English?
I did?
Yeah, but I mean, it's English, but I ain't ever date nobody that says whilst.
English.
It's like, wow. Wow.
I remember the first smart guy I ever dated.
Mm.
And British people just by nature feel more poised and like.
Oh, he's very mature. And I say it's all the time.
And it really
is
like a British gentleman, like it's a thing, right? The first smart person, and I don't mean this like to be
Girl,
cheesy,
we're from Florida. Let us sound crazy.
Just someone that you could tell is well read. I felt like I was running behind him in conversation. Like he would just bring up something that was going on in the world, whatever. And I'm like, yo, am I dumb? Like it was really difficult for me. And he wasn't from the States, but it also kind of just highlighted, damn, we're a little bit far back.
Oh no, we are. I'm 8 years older than him.
Like Florida.
My
right?
homegirl is 4 years older than me. He sat and was able to keep up in conversation with me and my homegirl who's almost 40. And he's 8 years younger than me. So definitely leaps and bounds. I know like there's been constant conversations when I talk to young niggas, like, what the hell do y'all talk about? Me and this motherfucker be on the phone for 3-4 hours. And it's like, damn, the conversation never gets stale. And I'm like, because you grew up in not America. That's what it is.
Now, you love him. He's great.
Real quick.
What's wrong with him? Does he snore?
No, we slept together. He don't snore.
Damn, nothing wrong.
Not yet. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be something I don't like.
I remember the first thing I couldn't stand about my boyfriend. It's the same thing I can't stand now. Love ya.
Oh, wait, there's something I don't like.
Ooh, what?
Bitch, he's allergic to dairy.
Oh, yeah.
That
come on.
You know what? I thought vegans were bad. Bro, I literally didn't cook for that nigga because I was like, ooh, how do I cook without butter?
Ain't
Can't
one of
put
you
cheese on
lactose?
it? Oh, my God. I'm lactose, but I'll take a shit. Like, I can't not eat it. This nigga will die. Like, we went to Cheesecake Factory when we was shopping out in motherfucking Vegas, and they brought him fucking bread with butter on it. They dipped the calamari in buttermilk, and I literally was like, oh my God, he about to die with me. I'm about to be the last person with him.
But didn't y'all like know that this was stuff?
Well, no, first off, we had a young server who literally, when he said dairy allergy, when she felt so bad, she was like, well, most people are lactose. So I didn't know it was like a real allergy. I was like, bro, he about to die.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, and the motherfuckers only had the nerve. Cheesecake Factory, I'm coming for your head. Only had the nerve to remove his meal, not mine. So, bitch,
But you ate yours.
I still got charged. I did eat mine. But, bitch, I was so mad.
Bro, the best that anybody ever took my allergy serious was, damn, my tits look huge in this top. Was when I was at the Standard Hotel and the drink had egg in it and they gave me bread. But honestly, like getting
what
to
was
the point,
drink?
It was in the. It wasn't a margarita because
a whiskey sour. Because some
whiskey sour.
No. Because whiskey sours I know I can't drink. It was just some random fruity cocktail that they put egg in. Now the server at the time suggested the drink to me. Knew my egg allergy at the top, so I couldn't look at the cocktail menu. I'm like, "You something good with tequila?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, the blah blah blah."
Damn.
So actually,
she probably maybe didn't know.
She was probably a fan and had a hit out on your ass.
Ooh.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Because she knew you had that egg allergy, bitch. Said, let me not even pass her the menu. I got you. I'm going to give you this.
I'm trying to think of what I have an update on.
Asia. We haven't really gotten much about Asia, and you were there for almost a month.
I know. I will tell anybody who's been dating someone for a year. So this trip we planned in the summer of last year, like, we should go to Asia for 3 weeks. Da-da-da. And we really were saying it like, let's see if we could last for 3 weeks. Bro, got along so well that it was like, oh, of course we could live together. Like, but the trip was really a month because of Vegas. I told some funny stories on Patreon about how, we ended up having to get escorted out the airport because of the whole visa tea. But I will say the most impactful part of the trip, I have a friend of mine right now who's dating someone, and they were like, yeah, I love being with him, but I'm ready for my space sometimes. Really ready for my space. Like,
They live together currently.
no, when they date, when they're around each other, like after a certain number of days, she's capped out. And
Fair.
Is your friend me? Because bitch and is.
so I'm talking about it with my partner. And I remember when we first met, he was like, yeah, I like a 3-4 day vacation with somebody, no more than that. Like, I need to reset. On this trip, we did so much shit together to the point where we only took one shower without each other. And the showers was non-sexual, just always wanting to be around each other. And he said to me, I realize, whereas we're such solo, independent, I don't need nobody for shit people, both of us, he's like, my alone time doesn't feel as great anymore because I love spending time with you. And it was one of the nicest things anybody has said to me because I've always felt like when I like to share space, I'm very needy. And I found that wasn't enough time. We wanted more than the 4 weeks. He was like, bitch, I wasn't crying, but I was like, fuck, because I had to go back to LA. He went back to New York. Like, damn, like this shit is really over. We get along so great. I think a few things I have noticed that is a bit of a difference from this and other partners. There was a lot of things in my head on the way home. Not doubting my relationship, doubting myself, and wondering why other relationships lasted. For one, the solo time that we spend may look like quiet time while in the same room. I'm someone that needs to fill space by talking all the time. I'm a chatty person. I'm a social person. If I'm standing online and it's taking too long, I'm going to talk next to the person. That's just me. If we do a meet and greet, I'm the one who doesn't know how to shut up. You know that.
Yeah, I do. I'd be like, Vinny, can you tell her we got to get through this goddamn line?
I just don't know how to stop. So I think what I've learned is my boyfriend is not that way. And it's kind of drawn me to be a little more patient, a little more quiet. He said to me, we went to this really small private island. It was very White Lotus. And he said to me, baby, I don't want you to say anything for an hour. Not in the shut the fuck up way, but like, you need some quiet too. He's like, yo, just read the book. Just look at the water. Just chill out. Because I'm like, oh, everybody's waking up now. And now I can talk about, and it was just, my brain is always going. I realized that spending the time together isn't always an activity. We had a lot of time idle, and people really, and including me in other relationships, I didn't know what to do with that idle time. If there were 6 hours where I was just chilling with someone, I felt like I needed to fill it or make an itinerary. And I'm not even very type A, but I'm like that. I have this I gotta entertain you energy. And that shit went out the window. And I realized I really suffered in relationships when that idle time happened. Do I like who you are when there's no plan? Do I like who you are when I'm sitting around you for hours at a time and there's no entertainment for the TV? Can I coexist with you in this space when we both have nothing to do? I've found that other people kind of annoy me. Like, they really do get me to this point where I'm like, this is fun, but you can go now.
It's so funny because you bringing that up, and maybe because before we got together, we fucking talked for hours every day for 7 months. But I'm very aware of who, like, the space that I do need, which is why, like, my ex, it worked out. He would be around, but he always got to go home. Like, and so even like we were having a jokey conversation where he was trying to convince me to move to LA, and I said, never gonna happen. So he's like, okay, maybe I'll consider moving to Atlanta. And I was like, yeah, well, I'll help you look for an apartment because you won't be moving in with me. And it was like, it was jokey, but I also meant it. Like, before he came over, like, I take naps. I need my fucking nap. So because he jokes about me being a nappy ass bitch, while he was there, I didn't want to resent him or be annoyed by him being in my presence because I wasn't able to do the things that I genuinely like to do and that I need every day. And so I loved that his response to that was, well, that's fine. I'll just go to the gym so that you could have time to take your nap. And there was like, not that I was pushing him away, but he knows how much that means to me. And he didn't want to like fuck up my day. and literally fuck up my day is very dramatic. But I think it's important for, if you're a person that needs space, finding a way to communicate that and making sure your partner doesn't feel pushed away. Or opposite, if your partner is more of a recluse and needs quiet time, them being able to communicate it to you without you feeling like they said, you'll shut the fuck up. So I just think like it's a self-reflective thing, and knowing what you actually really want and communicating it to your partner where they don't feel offended.
And you
And
necessarily don't always know what you want. Like,
I know I want space.
I think a lot of people don't know how to say that in a way of like, but sometimes space isn't, I need you to leave. It's just, I need to be, because what about people that live together?
So let's go over that.
Live together and both work from home.
You live together, maybe both work from home. How would you communicate, or how would you say someone could get space from the other person?
Well, that is our current situation. We don't live together yet, but we both work for ourselves. So we were talking about it, and he was like...
Talking about moving in together?
Yeah, and like, all right, we clearly need a bedroom. Like, another bedroom for space. Like, what does that look like? And also, I was very honest with him. I was like, yo, when we're together, I find myself rushing work sometimes when I'm around you. If we're spending the weekend together, I find myself wanting to rush it so I don't leave you if you don't have work on the weekend. And he's like, that's crazy, because you need to learn how to exist as yourself when I'm around, because I'm not leaving.
True.
So how the fuck can Gila be Weezy for 3 hours today and not feel, you know, whatever that is? So I think there's just a lot of unlearning of, and I think it's women of really needing to be like, I have to do this. I have to be available. I got to be this. I really believe it's a woman thing when women feel like this.
That's why I be talking to my therapist like, I might be you might have to bleep it out. I don't know if we're allowed to say that word anymore, but my mind really thinks like a nigga. Bro, I swear to God, I don't be thinking like that.
Girl, not as much you've been crying on this podcast as last year. The nigga is out of you.
I mean, no, I went through, of course, heartbreak. I'm gonna cry. I was fucking depressed last year, like God knows what. But when it comes to like how I want to have my time, me telling him, hey, baby, we not gonna rush the marriage, the kids, and those high talks. Like, I genuinely feel like I approach relationships completely from the way that men are used to most women. And I think that that's why my ex genuinely didn't think I cared about him. Because, okay, you need some space? I'll see you when you... like.
I think it's probably because your desires aren't necessarily marriage and children. When people are on the clock of their own body and they know what they want. So if you are approaching a romantic relationship and you're like, yo, children is my expectation out of this. So if I'm putting this time and energy into this and you're not the right partner, you set me back for another life goal.
You believe in someone wasting your time? Like you believe in that? You believe that that's the man's fault? Or...
I think it can be.
Okay.
I say this because
you don't think though that... And I'm curious, because that's a good thing. Yes, we know we have the biological clock, and we choose partners knowing that we want certain outcomes.
I'll tell you a few type of men that I think are time wasters.
Okay, let's talk about it. What men are time wasters?
Boom. Number one, the nigga that dates the girl that is so ready for a relationship, that is telling you she's dating for marriage, and you say, hey, I'm not ready yet. Let's see where it goes.
Okay.
What?
Yes,
hold on.
I agree. Keep going.
Now,
I want to hear the rest of the list. But yes.
This answer is totally okay until you get to the point where you are positive she ain't it. And the answers that men start to give when being held accountable is like, well, I told you I wasn't ready.
Nothing. I wasn't ready.
So a lot of people feel like this is the woman's fault, right? However, I'm going to be very honest with you.
Okay.
I haven't been in my last 3 relationships, including this one. First date was, I don't know if I want a relationship, kind of just with, this is an answer because it relieves the pressure from the man. If a nigga met a bitch that was for him, he wants the relationship. That's how I got in mine. Okay. That's how you got in yours. He probably gave the answer to someone else.
Oh, no, that ain't how I got in mine. My nigga said...
No, I'm saying you got in your relationship because you're with someone that wants you.
Well, he admitted that there was some things I did. He was like, why do I like this bitch? He tried to not like me.
I disagree. So, I don't think any man is in a relationship. unless this is really somewhere they want to be.
I think it's
Men
weird.
have so many options, Mandii. You ain't gonna take me off the.
Oh, I get it.
Let me
Women have all
stay
the
on my
options
hill
too.
right now.
Women have all the options too.
I don't believe that. I think if women had a bunch of options, you'd have a bunch of married women. Let me continue with what I'm saying.
Marriage is different than options. So, okay, so we're talking two different things.
No, let me keep going.
Marriage is different than
But
options.
this is what I'm talking about. My first sentiment was that a woman that's looking for a relationship, looking for marriage, looking for children. Now, I believe this accountability falls on the man because at some point, your selfishness needs to be acknowledged. There's only so much sex, fun time, and intimacy and meals you can pull out of someone to know, like, damn, I'm really not investing in this person in the way that they want me to, because their investment for that time, that pussy, that energy, even the coddling, the intimacy, it's because she is expecting you're going to be her partner. I am very tired of seeing this happen to women.
What is the second type of guy?
The second type of guy that what was the first thing I said? What kind of guy?
The type of guy that knows that you want all these things,
Right.
says he's not ready, continues to entertain you, even after he knows you're not the one for her.
The second type of bad guy
for
to
him.
date, to me, is the guy that is playing too much of the field. Maybe this guy has an intent to marry, dating too many women at one time. This is why Love is Blind kind of works for a momentary portion, right? Love isn't blind. Something needs to get up, right?
I need to be attracted.
But these people get so connected to each other because they have so much time to learn about each other. Men are spreading out way too far, dating too many women, and they almost can't manage it. One of my homeboys that's dating too many women right now literally said to me, like, bruh, I'm about to lose one of my bitches because I had to try to keep the other one. This bitch had a birthday. I had to show up for her, and the other one just kind of felt left out. And he's like, it's you owe too much. When you start planting all these seeds in different places, and someone, let's just say these women are dating 1 or 2 men, and you're dating 5. They're going to need more from you than you do. You got less of yourself to give, and you end up fucking everybody over. And I'm telling you, you building bitches out here that's savage. The tide is going to change. It's already changing. That's why you have women having kids on their own. A lot of this has to be some accountability on the fact that the options that men have are leading them to make these decisions. It wasn't like that back in the day because it was different. It wasn't ding, 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 ding on your phone. And I really...
Yeah, instead they was having families with the bitch down the street. They always had options. They just had the bitch down the street, the bitch up the block.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
I mean, divorce rates are higher today. And when it comes to why people are getting divorced, we rarely see it being fucking money or anything like that this time. It's always some crazy headline about cheating. All I'm saying is, like, I really think the appetite of men sometimes can get in the way. They're getting in with the wrong partners. You should be in relationships where women are also ethically non-monogamous and open to it, not just accepting it because that was their only option. But I just find that, like, a lot of the pain and heartache does need to lie on the man sometimes. Because if these women are truly being vocal, then you would know the expectations are higher of you. Why I brought that up, though, was because when you said your ex was like, damn, I really feel like it's easy for you to enter in relationships in a way that men feel slightly safer because you don't need that much from them. Me wanting marriage and children looks like, oh, well, she needs this. You just want love, partnership, companionship. Mine is a different ask. It's a lifetime fucking ask. And so I think it's just such a relief for men that want the same things as you.
That's the problem. I don't meet men that want the same things as me. My boyfriend right now wants kids and marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But we really like each other. We are committed to being in a relationship. And I've also let him know, which is where I never want the title to be on me that I wasted his time, because I let it be known what I want out the gate. And when he wants those things, I gave him the freedom to go and get them for a woman if those are the things that he wants.
I like that answer.
Like, so to me, when we talk about time wasters, I would never accept from him if he got upset and called me or said I wasted his time. Because I think I'm allowing him to do what I think most women should do. If a man is telling you that your vision doesn't align out the gate and you choose to stay to try to make it work with hopes that he changes his mind, bitch, you wasted your own time. And I think that that's the problem. We sit here.
If the goals don't align.
No, so that's what I'm saying. So you're saying that these are the type of men that are time wasters. I think a man that out the gate expresses that what he wants at the time that you want it does not align, and you choose to stay with that one moment, and you choose to stay with that man in hopes that love will change his mind, time will change his mind, or eventually you guys get to the same desires. If you go in expecting that to happen and it doesn't, as a woman, bitch, you wasted your own time because you went into the relationship with hope and delusion.
Disagree. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
You have a dude, you go on a date. I actually pretty much talk about kids and marriage first or second date. Because I know I'm out if we don't align. Men will say things like, and I know this is just something common. Of course, yeah, I want 2 kids. I want a boy, I want a girl, I want this. I would love to move to Westchester, whatever. They're going to start their story, right? All of us having the same goals does not mean it's going to happen with me.
Of course.
But it's for you to say it doesn't align, it's very easy to have a conversation where you're seeing we have things in common, whatever. But sometimes it just ain't going to be you.
100%. You're saying something different.
No, because I think maybe the verbiage you used was one that I don't think is right.
The with you is always going to be silent. A man can say what they want. Just because he's expressing that he wants it does not mean he wants it with you in that conversation. A man can express what they want, which is what I'm saying. If you are sitting across from each other and you don't align on your wants or needs or desires, and not even by the sex of the children or moving to Westchester, whatever. If you know you want family planning and marriage down the line, and you sit across from a man who says, I don't want those things, maybe ever, and you choose to continue pursuing him or dating him. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The with you is always going to be silent. A man telling me he wants kids and marriage does not mean, and I'm not going to believe, he wants it with me just because he's telling me it's what he wants.
But let me ask you though, because it's interesting that out of the people you were dating, I mean, it seemed like you were the most connected with Actor Bay. But does it scare you as a woman when you hear a man telling you marriage, children, and family is something they want and you want them?
I believe that nothing lasts forever. And I also told him that I don't want to future fuck our ability to just enjoy each other in the present. He doesn't want children or marriage within the next couple of years. So to me, I'm excited to enjoy a loving, caring relationship for as long as it lasts. And as soon as it no longer lasts or we no longer align with each other, I'm comfortable with just experiencing what the relationship was and moving on with my life. I genuinely don't think we have to consider people lasting forever or always being on the same page. Again, we're also 8 years apart. So for me, I genuinely believe that he will go through a lot more life changes in the next 4 years than I will in the next 4 years. Like going from 26 to 30 is going to be a lot different in his growth as a man and an adult than what I'm going to experience from 34 to 38. So we've already expressed that.
How does it make him feel when you say nothing lasts forever? As an answer to like...
If he has a problem with that, he got to take it up with his therapist and God. Nothing lasts forever.
No, I mean, when you say it, like, well, how's he...
Like, what's his reaction?
Well, if he thinks that love and relationships are supposed to last forever, again, he could take that up with therapists and his God. I'm not here to coddle him in that belief because that doesn't change for me. I genuinely believe a movie doesn't last forever. A series, we're always sad, right? When a series that we fucking love says it's coming to an end. Me and fucking Wolf were just like, man, Dreamville Festival, this is the last and final one. We would love for it to last forever, and it's not. And we're going to deal with losing Dreamville as it is. Sometimes you have to just deal with the reality of life that things will come to an end. And I don't want to go into a relationship with the fallacy or with the ideology that this is something that's going to be forever. I just want to be able to enjoy it while we have it. And so again, when I talk about future fucking, this idea of even thinking of it coming to an end or us being on a different page in the next 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, let's not fucking overwhelm ourselves with anxiety about what that's going to look like. Let's just fucking enjoy each other and love on each other until we don't anymore. And that's like what I want to experience. I want to experience just healthy relationships without the idea of what life is going to inevitably bring.
Do you know what's weird?
At the end.
What you said feels like such women empowerment shit. If the roles were flipped and a man told a woman, let's just see where this relationship takes us, in knowing they wanted children.
But see, I don't.
We would demonize them. No, in knowing the woman wanted children, we would demonize them.
Well, no.
But you're
as a
saying,
woman, you have the power to then leave the relationship. That's the thing. People should not be demonized for being honest. Okay, I want to be in a relationship where I just let this shit flow. You're telling me as a woman, you want babies like yesterday. As a woman, if this man just wants to let it flow, you have to be strong enough to realize that this is not the person that's going to bring you what you want. And you have to be okay with going back out into the fucking ghetto of dating and finding someone else that aligns with you. I think the problem is women
or
so
Ebony
much.
K. It.
Well, women so
Make your own
much.
choice.
Women so much just want to be in a relationship so bad they're willing to make it seem like something's gonna work when they know it ain't gonna work. They know that, and again, because women have the biological clock working against them, all the blame is on you for a man that just wants to keep it easy flowing.
I think
for
it's
me
the
with my
content,
partner, I
too.
think the age difference makes it different for us. Like him staying with me even for the next 3 or 4 years. He can always get with a woman that can procreate with him younger. He doesn't have the biological clock that I do.
Mandii, you're so crazy.
Why am I crazy? Hold on. Wolf is over
No,
there
it
shaking
was
his
just crazy.
head.
She was like,
agreeing.
he can stay with me for 4 years and then.
If he when he's ready for a kid and I'm still at the place where I don't want it, I'm gonna send him off into the world to go have
something you
what he
definitely
wants.
don't want though. But I'm talking about. But I guess like
Marriage, I told him he could give me a ring. I like a cute ring, and we could go like and
Okay,
have
then.
we could have a ceremony. But I told him I'm not putting it on paper.
Oh wow.
I think most men would like that.
Thank you, especially niggas with money. I'm a bitch with money. Bruh. We don't need to put that shit on paper to signify our love to what these Republicans.
As
to
a
the
man that
government,
wants
to the
marriage, was he
IRS.
happy with that answer?
That's why he flew
Wow.
to Atlanta, because he was like, I just really want a ceremony. I want to be able to celebrate our love in front of my family. And if there's a way that I can still do that, I accept that answer.
Bro, it's so crazy that the marriage conversations I'm having now, I've been through these, like, this is what our wedding will look like. This is what I look like. The more in love I get, I'd be like, okay, so when we're at the courthouse, like, it went down from having cousins and siblings to I just want my parents and your parents. Like, bitch, I don't know what it is.
It can be that simple. Yeah.
My brain is gone from I want this to like, boop.
Girl, this economy, eggs,
Bro,
$36.
Y'all could go back to Asia.
I swear to God,
Like-
all I think about is like, that's how in love I am. Like, definitely want marriage. And I want to find this couple. I don't know if anyone has seen them. I'm going to tell you their page. Go and shout them out. They're some fly ass niggas. They had a wedding in Mexico City. The way it started, the cinematics, I thought it was a fucking horror movie. That's how good it looked. But they shared some photos of them getting married at a courthouse. Him and I shared it at the same time. And I realized, damn, them niggas went to dinner. It looked like they was alone after they got married at the courthouse. I'm like, yo, when people fucking love
A wedding
each
a
other,
lot of time is for everybody else. You know
It
what
really
I mean? A lot
is.
of times
It is,
the
100%.
bride and the groom end up being so exhausted, overwhelmed. Like there's so many stories that people don't even have sex on their wedding nights because they're so fucking drained and exhausted from entertaining motherfuckers.
Anytime I MC or DJ a wedding, I let them know, hey, I know this is your special day, but it's really their special day.
Yeah.
And I point at the family and everyone else because at the end of the day, they're going to want to take pictures with you.
Yep.
They want to
Telling
make
you.
sure they get every moment. They want to see you look pretty, you look handsome. They want to be the
Every
groomsmen.
time.
They want to be the bridesmaids. Like, it's about
That's why I
almost
said I
everyone
don't
else.
want birthday parties. Me and Weezy be
I
on
can't find
tour.
them,
We be
but-
talking about after parties. The curation of making sure you have to host and throw and entertain brings about so much anxiety. I told him, I said, you want a ceremony, you got to plan it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely want to get to that one day. But for me, at this age, I definitely want to just be married. Nigga, I'm telling you right now, I could be in the studio and I feel like people would find out I'm married from the ring.
By the way, y'all don't see my taxes. When I come in with a ring, bitch, I'm married. Fuck y'all.
Like,
Y'all better not look for that marriage certificate because it ain't going to exist. But bitch, when I say it's a wife, bitch, I'm going to hold the ring up and be like, it's a wife.
I've
bitch.
posted so much less for milestone. I really feel like I'm gonna be married, and people gonna be like, "Why'd she hide it?" And I'm like, when I tell you my photos
you
from
gonna be Issa
Thailand,
Rae.
I think I took 45 photos, which isn't even what I do alone when I have good makeup. It was crazy, and like I kind of wish, like I literally was like on the plane back. I was like, "Damn, we didn't take nothing."
Oh, I told him when he came to Atlanta, we only had fucking photos in the aquarium with sharks and jellyfish behind us. I said, we could have took more photos than this.
Damn, that
Nigga,
shorty
we
got
went
more
to the
pictures than
Beltline.
you.
You feel me?
I think you
feel
just
me?
get sucked in it. But I'm also dating someone that doesn't give a shit about their phone.
Oh yeah, this nigga ain't even on social media.
I'm gonna tell you this though. I was cracking out. Bitch, when we was on that little island, it was 3 nights. I started getting real stressed out about something that was going on at Trap. Everything's great now, but when it was happening, he was like, listen, if Brianda needs you, if Alex needs you, if your mom needs you, that's it. You don't have to shoot horrible decisions. You're done with your meeting. That meeting I took at 2 a.m. Anyone that really needs you will call my phone. Put your phone in the safe and let it go. Girl, we was at the pool. I was like, let me go change my sandals. Bitch, I was in it. Oh, God, just give me a TikTok. Bitch, I was dying. I hate it. I'm telling you, I don't, just knowing I can't. And then you know what sucked? Oh my God, they started doing some cute little performance and they brought us all these little coconuts with the letters carved in it. Give my phone. Nothing. I'm just looking at nice shit with no photo. How are people gonna know I'm living luxury if I don't post that? That's the life I was living, bitch. Then we was getting a massage. I was like, this is so nice, baby. I want to take nothing. Dog, I need to let this shit go, but it's bad. I even got a little tech neck. I had all posture rescued fucking massages. Like, I am a little too addicted to my phone, and it's interesting because I'm not a crazy Instagram person, but I just like having access for some reason. And the phone feels like...
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. When I'm with my niggas, this one and the last one, when I'm with somebody I like, phone be in a whole nother room.
It do, but bitch, I was with him for a month.
I was with Old Man River, and now I'm with Baby Bottle Pop. When I tell you both of them niggas,
absolutely hilarious.
My friends came up with those
funny.
names, by the way.
That's
Old
smart.
Man River and Baby Bottle Pop.
They literally opposite ends of the spectrum, and I ended up with two men who couldn't be further apart in age and generation and upbringing, and both of them do not be on phone.
It's great
Both
though,
of them
as
do not
people
do
that are
social
always
media. I love it
to date somebody that's not tapped in.
because what I notice that anytime I see people on dates,
I hate that.
They're both on their fucking phones. So when I'm out, because I'm with someone now who genuinely don't be on the like his sister runs his fucking Instagram account, and I said good. Because nigga, I met you on the gram. Get off that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think when you're a person that like, you're intentional, like, I don't think an Instagram crazy person or a TikToker can't tap into a dinner if they really need to. But I find that the phone is pastime. The phone is this thing of like, I'm on the couch now, boom, type shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna interrupt my time.
You saying
with you.
type shit like a YN is crazy.
The worst part
What's a YN? The young nigga rapper?
Mandii, what's a
No,
YN?
it's not a rapper. It's the term now, YN.
It's exactly what you
It's exactly what you said.
Well, you're on the phone more than me, so you would know it.
It's oh wow.
Well, that's why I know it, bitch.
Okay, I want to get into a new segment. We are going to be doing this to sell our book and our
That's
pre-orders.
right.
So every single week on Decisions, whenever we don't have a guest, we're going to be digging into a quote from our book. Whoever's doing the outline, we're going to give you something that we wrote and dig into a little convo about it. So Wolf and Eden, please join in. This is from, I believe this is from our New York chapter. I wrote, avoiding loneliness will only cause issues when you're finally sharing space. The growing mindfulness is vital to your overall self-esteem, productivity, and the energy levels. Your brain starts to recover with all the external stimuli that a clusterfuck of a city brings. Yes, community and companionship are necessary, but so is being able to say you can be happy by yourself. And I finally realized the most beautiful version of me doesn't arrive until I meet the ugliest me. So I want to ask y'all, is it true that you really got to get to a dark and shitty place within yourself to have a fucking glow up? Have you ever had a fucking glow up in your life that you felt like just naturally came without you going through a hard road to get there?
No, I think my 20s was the dark ugliness, and I'm in my glow up currently. I think it's the same. Like, you don't know happiness unless you know sadness. You don't know what it's like to make money unless you know what it feels like to be broke. Like,
true.
I think that's you don't know that a relationship is bad. I mean, you don't know a relationship is healthy unless you've been in a relationship that was bad. And so I think that's literally just the nuances of life, like duality. Like, you don't know how to appreciate the good in life until you know what comes with the bad. And so I think, like, for me, my glow up is now like finding the strength, the confidence, being financially secure, being like confident in myself, my looks, and all of those things bring about the best version of myself to where I can show up as the best version of myself for the world. I think that, you know, when you're unhappy, when you're depressed, when you haven't dealt with your traumas, when you haven't gone to therapy and you're just existing as this broken person, you don't know how great you could really be before you have to navigate those things first.
I learned another word recently that I wanted to talk about with y'all. I don't know if anyone's heard this. Have you heard of a glow down?
No.
Well,
Slow down.
at the top of the list, people that are relevant to talk about today, they are saying on the TikToks and the Instagrams, Tyla is the number one most recent celebrity glow down.
Wait,
What do you,
I now need an explanation on this because wherever my mind is going, I disagree. Why is Tyla a glow down?
People believe, this is not me. God, don't come for me. People believe that Kyla's glow down is because the internet started tonight.
Tyla, who are we?
Tyla?
Tyla.
Like
Okay.
making
Tyla's-
water, right?
Tyla, yeah.
Make me sweat.
People believe Tyla had a glow down because they believe she got up too quickly. People became obsessed with the song. Didn't have anything that went quickly as pop and mainstream. And social media started to dislike her.
So I think it's because, first off, I think this is absolutely 100% unfactual, wrong, and
I feel like
and
Tyla
it's
would
because
literally...
You talking
I think-
about her?
I think
Right.
She's fine as
I
hell.
think Push to Start.
This is not my opinion.
Push to Start was still great. The album,
Yes.
by the way,
Jump.
was literally the playlist to St. Croix. Her entire album, I was so shocked at how fucking dope it was. She has so many great songs and more hits than just Wada. So
Exactly.
if you just don't listen to Tyla, just say that. Secondly, I think that she is our next upcoming Rihanna. I think she's phenomenal. I think she's a fucking star in her right. What I believe why someone would say that is because Misery, if you're in the darkness,
Mhm.
you're upset at people who get so much success so quickly. I think we saw that.
I think the
I think we saw
internet's
that-
opinions seem louder than
the
what the reality is.
And that's not the reality. I think that we saw that with Ice Spice. Like, to me, her glow down is because her album didn't do as well as it was anticipated. However, people hated her because they felt like, why the fuck is she the one that gets to have all of this? Why is she at the Met Gala? Why is she in videos with this person? Why is she next to
Right.
Taylor Swift? I think people hate to see someone reach success because they're unhappy with their own inability to reach
I think the
any
other
success in their
strange
life.
thing too, at least with Black celebrities that I've always found strange.
We don't want to see motherfuckers win.
I get Tyla's skinny. I get there's Arya Starr. I get that that there's darker skin talent that is probably is better of a singer than Tyla. I
I don't want to
understand.
make this a colorism thing.
Well, no, let's call it.
That was a big topic for her.
Let's call a spade a
actually, when she
spade.
was
Well,
on,
no, it's
Breakfast
because
Club.
she used the word colored, which is a word that they use
No.
all the
This
time.
is Tyla being light. If you're gonna have the biggest, nigga, this isn't hate to make it about color. That's life, bro. Tyla is the biggest star to come out of Africa. That's a woman, correct? Or am I wrong here? And look how she looks.
I think Thames
I was gonna say Thames
is probably bigger and has actually.
You
won
think
more
Thames
awards.
is bigger than Tyla? You think
Yes.
white people know Thames?
Yes.
I would hope that's true. I think Thames is dope,
actually,
but
I don't know.
I
don't know
disagree
if
with
white
you
people know
guys.
Thames.
I think Tyla is bigger. I
white
think.
people know
I mean,
Tyla
but
for
I think
sure.
Was
they're
Thames
different.
on the cover vote?
I think Tyla makes pop music and leans into pop music. Thames make more soulful.
I think that's the
Afrobeats
point, though,
style.
Mandy. Like, there's a pop music star in Africa that looks like Thames, I'm sure.
No, yeah, but she makes
Tyla, I'm sorry. No one's going to convince me that Tyla's looks and skin color ain't why she's as huge as she is. It's fine.
Oh, for sure.
She's
But
gorgeous,
the
but
internet is still saying she's a glow down.
Which is
so
hilarious.
take away.
But no, I
color
think
at
a
all,
lot
like,
of
they're
this
still telling
when
she's
you
a glow
when you
down.
talk about Ice Spice, right? Also, someone like I think there's a lot that the internet hates when it's like, fuck. How do we have someone when there's someone else, Scarlett, someone else way better, right? And so I think sometimes that noise starts to infect everybody. What Tyla did with the award thing was shitty, yes. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to hate this girl that much for it. Like, I'm over it already. I think we really...
You are, but I think majority of people harness shit for people they really don't fucking know.
Right.
And I think it's just, it's people wanting to have just, and luckily we still have the First Amendment. Y'all know they're taking rid of that shit. But luckily we're able to just hold space, have our opinions and exist. And I just think people harbor on the worst things. This is what I do. Anytime you want to see how miserable the goddamn world is, just go to the shade room. Find somebody you really fucking adore, that you really fucking respect, that you think is gorgeous. and go look in the comments and see how many people have something negative to say about
Or
this.
Reddit.
And then you can literally move on
Right.
with your fucking life.
Now,
blank.
reactionary. Let's talk about some other crazy shit in the world.
I'm here for
Factual, not opinion based. I don't know if you guys have seen the woman that had the wrong baby born inside of her, but here's a little clip about some recent crazy news.
A woman in Savannah, Georgia has filed a lawsuit against coastal fertility specialists after giving birth to a child who was not biologically hers due to an embryo mix-up. Christina Murray underwent in
The
vitro
baby
fertilization
came out
in early
black.
2023. When she gave birth in December, she immediately noticed the baby did not share her expected genetic traits. A DNA test later confirmed that she had carried and delivered another couple's embryo. Murray is suing the clinic for negligence, stating that the mistake caused her pain and anguish. She initially planned to raise the child, but after the biological parents were notified, they sought custody. Facing a legal challenge she believed she could not win, Murray relinquished custody of the child at 5 months old. The clinic issued a statement apologizing for what it called an unprecedented error, and stated that it has since implemented additional safeguards to prevent similar mistakes.
Let's talk about a real recap of what I just said. What you just heard, excuse me. A white woman in Georgia did IVF embryo, put the embryo inside of her. Baby is born, the baby's black. Come to find out, it belonged to a couple from the clinic. She thought, fuck it, I'll just raise the baby. Them niggas said, hell no, bitch, that's our baby. They were about to go to court, and she was like, you know what? I'm not going to lose this battle. I'll let it go.
First off, I
Whoa.
think that white woman deserves millions upon
Yo.
millions of dollars.
And a few more babies.
On the opposite end, I have 3 or 4 friends that are currently going through egg freezing and embryos. Literally retrieval of eggs. Mind you, I'm learning so much about it. You could go through, mind you, like $7,000 a pop.
So much work.
Especially if you don't have insurance. Insurance oftentimes also doesn't cover everything. The medication alone is like $1,400. It's ridiculous. So going through IVF basically starts your eggs to get healthy for retrieval. Mind you, they can literally pull out, I think 10 eggs is normally like a good amount that you could have. I have a friend right now that is producing 4, 3, like not enough to where basically, even if they're healthy, it doesn't mean that they'll form into an embryo. Mind you, whether it forms into an embryo or not, you don't get your money back.
Right.
So I can understand this black couple wanting their baby because the retrieval process and having a healthy baby actually born through IVF is a lot. And so I'm not against the black woman wanting her baby.
Me too.
I also think there's no money in the world that is going to make this white woman okay.
Oh my God, bro.
At all.
Let me tell you something.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
really
it's
think
fucked up.
these are the only white tears I would wipe away.
Well, you know.
You carried that baby for 9 months. You had to deal with the fact that it wasn't your baby.
Yeah.
And she probably had to sit with herself and say, fuck it, man. God gave me this baby. Either way, I'm going to stick this through. And she grew a connection to this baby.
Bruh,
and
crazy.
then, bro, and we were just saying a few weeks ago in the episode with Kendrick, the biological attachment.
The chemistry that
feeling
happens.
like you're, and it's like, it's gone. Yo, I make fun of my mom for this all the time, okay? But when I got Nina, my mom was like, I want a dog too. I was like, well, I'm only giving you $1,000 to get a dog. And the only one she could find, as tiny as she wanted, was in Fort Lauderdale at the time. So she drove from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale. I don't know if anyone heard me tell this story before. She waited to get this dog at a CVS, had the cash in hand, and nobody showed up. And she called me and said, I feel like I just had a miscarriage. I have all my toys at home. I'm so ready for this fucking dog, and I don't have anything. And she was crying, and it was kind of funny, but kind of cute, but kind of sad. And I realized, like, yo.
If you was a good daughter, you would have said, I got you $2,000 on the next
Well, you know, I
I'm
did.
going to raise that budget for you, mama.
I did. But by the way, I think they was going to rob her ass, and I think they saw she was an old lady and was like, nah, we ain't going to do it. Because why would you have somebody meet you with the cash in a parking lot? Anyway, I yelled at her. I can't believe she did it. Say this to say, my mom acted like she was depressed for weeks because
Wow.
she got so ready. She was looking at the photos. The baby wasn't ready to get taken, or the dog wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Imagine 9 months. It did. 5 months of having a fucking baby.
5 months after raising it and then having to give up custody to
Is she in the wrong though? Like what?
It's who in the wrong?
Who?
The woman. Because
Which
it's like
woman?
no,
There's two
like
women.
The black
Black
woman
woman
for
or the
taking the
white
baby
white
away?
woman. Well, just I mean, not even putting an effort into just holding onto the baby. Is that tough?
No, I don't
I
think
don't know
she's
what
wrong.
laws were around this, but I don't think she's wrong, especially because as a woman, like even though you went through that, bro, if you know any other woman that went through the same
And
IVF
wanted their
process
kid.
and wanted their kid, this is where I think the only motherfuckers in the wrong here is the clinic.
Right.
I don't think how this ended up, either woman is wrong. And I'm sure she wanted to keep this baby, but also we don't know. Like, we don't know. But honestly, like I said, I don't think that woman is ever going to be mentally okay with it.
No.
And I do think that there is something to say about the black woman and now her connection to this child because she didn't carry
Agreed.
that child. So it sucks for everybody involved.
I wonder how you find that out way later though.
Nigga, the baby came out black.
I mean,
Like,
outside of the
right.
black baby.
I wonder if they would have found out if that baby came out white, if it would have been the same outcome. She may have
Right,
never known.
exactly.
You know what I mean? If the baby just came out white and it wasn't switched up with a black baby embryo, she may have never realized that
Fucking hate you, Mom.
She had an unbiological child.
You're not even my real mom. What?
Okay, let's get into a little sex history. So,
Sex history.
for the ending of our show, we're going to be talking about the history of the brothel. Now, the reason I wanted to do this was because, in true Weezy fashion, gotta have some fun. Now, I'm not going to say I Googled prostitutes Thailand, but I did. And something that kept continuing to come up was Nana Plaza. Now, Nana Plaza is in Bangkok. It is, have you been? Because I never went.
I just went to the ping pong show. I wasn't looking
Did
for
you say
prostitutes.
Nana
No, a lot of
Plaza?
people just went because it's not, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So when I was telling people, they were like, oh, I went to that too. Like, I thought it was just strip clubs. So it's a plaza filled with bars and strip clubs.
Okay.
I would say it literally looks like a mall. 4 floors, escalators. Like, it looks like if it wasn't a strip club, it would be a fucking Hot Topic or some shit. Like, for real.
Okay.
So each strip club has like a theme. One of them, the girls were like kind of super thick, blonde hair, almost like American looking. There was another one of lady boys, them with the bad
Of
bitches.
course.
You already know they was
Of
bad
course.
bitches. Another one where they had like the super wide eyes, like anime dolls. Another one where they were just straight bob with like very like
You
China
went?
doll. Huh?
You went? Or you just looked it up? Oh yeah, this sounds cool.
So, we go and basically this is how you acquire the pussy. So I'm just thinking it's a strip club. Actually, no, I didn't. I just thought we was going to pull a bitch out of strip club. That's what I thought. We get there and I'm like, we were staying at the W. I'm like, I don't really want to bring a bitch back to our room. And he was like, no, I think these places will probably have a bed back here. That's what he was saying. Like, I think these places have rooms. Because think of the massage parlors. He's like, maybe it'll be a happy ending thing. Not the case. Attached to Nana Plaza is a hotel. For 500 baht, which is equivalent to about $20 US, you can get 2 hours at the hotel.
Oh, that's love. That's sweet.
I would say it's 1460 for 500 baht.
Yes.
Oh, well. Whatever, round it out. Now, I would say it was equivalent to like a Courtyard Marriott, not a fucking
Not a
dingy place
Motel
like you would
6.
think.
Okay.
So you get into these bars. Almost every single one of these women has a number on them. You go in, you know, they're like, what you like? What you like? What? They're loud. You're like, damn, let me try to get sexy. So you go, you get a drink. They're rotating on this thing in some of the bars that are bigger. And I would say maybe it's 20 girls on a spinning fucking pole. And they're all going around and we're like, ooh, that's a pretty one. Ooh, what does that number say? 13? Like, you're really looking. So when you bring the girl down, you can negotiate with her. After negotiating with her, you have to pay a house fee to take them out, which is 1,000 baht. So I'm now 24.
$30.
Yeah, $30. You can negotiate whatever you want. Basically, after that, you then take them to the hotel and you do your thing. So when we were outside, I started looking at these other women. It was a lot of Africans selling pussy outside, which kind of was like wild to me. I was like, they came to Thailand to sell pussy? And then women in hijabs. And I don't even think they were really Muslim. I think it was just a fantasy. I saw a few I would say a little like a UK baddie type thing, Aussie like OnlyFans girls looks. But when we were outside, I'm like, I wonder why they're on the street. Because when I think of like a streetwalker, I'm not thinking I'm going to see people like this. One, you have to be a Thai citizen to sell or to be working in those clubs. I Googled it. You have to be a Thai citizen. You have to have no criminal record. So a lot of these women, if they've ever went to jail for real punishable things in Thailand that could be small, you can't work in these industries. So if you've ever, as a sex worker, been, soliciting pussy, boom, you can't do it.
We talked about this actually at our live show at Sony Hall. Was it Germany or one of these countries? I think Switzerland actually recently passed a thing where sex workers can almost have licenses, and it provides them with with healthcare, parental leave, and health insurance, which is probably what Thailand is trying to do, is create a safer space for
prostitution is illegal in Thailand.
Well, maybe they don't call it prostitution, but
right.
That's what this is.
Okay, so
wait, what? That's so weird.
Okay, so that's what else I was gonna say. Prostitution's not legal, but even though there's a lot of sex tourism, it's weird. Like dildos are illegal. Like it's just mad shit. But anyway, so to get into the oldest profession, the tag of it is actually not that old. We say it's the oldest profession, but it's not. Anthropologists say that prostitution didn't actually seem to exist when there were primitive societies. There was no sex for sale amongst the Aboriginals of Australia before a white man arrived, nor was there brothels in societies when there was ancient Egyptian people or tribes and jungles. Like prostitution seems to be something that we came about when civilization came about. When things had a cost, that's when prostitution became a thing. So when cities and communities became civilized and had a structure to follow,
you not gonna tell me a bitch was not fucking for some chickens. Like, it wasn't like a dollar amount exchange, but if you not gonna tell me a bitch wasn't fucking for a roof over her head.
Well, the first recorded instances of pussy for sale was not a brothel, was not for chicken. It was in a temple and it was a religious ritual.
Oh, the church gonna be mad. You telling everybody that prostitution began in the church.
Amen.
Jesus. In Sumeria, Babylonia, prostitutes were those who had sex for religious ritual, not other type of gain. And sex in the temple was supposed to offer even more special blessings to men and women alike. There's plenty of that in the Bible, though prostitutes in Jewish scriptures seem to imply that they would do that in trade for a home, a place to stay. So,
wow,
right. The first actual
who was they fucking? The pastor, like the leader of the congregation?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Or they were just fucking in the church.
Maybe just fucking listen. That's like manifesting, like a sex magic thing. Bro.
No, they was fucking the leader of the congregation.
Okay, like we need to
This is why we said it be sounding a little culty.
We need to get some land. Let's go fuck and build this up.
We gotta fuck the man who owned the land. Otherwise, we can't get it. You gotta fuck the owner of anything to get any. You gotta fuck a man with money to get money. You gotta fuck a man with a home to have a home over your head. They was fucking the leader of the church.
The first brothels that were actual proper rooms in a was ancient Egypt. Where the influence they believe was from Greek travelers. They would later have pharaohs dancing with women and musicians trying to have sex with them in certain spaces, and then boom, they finally created one. When you watch Game of Thrones, I don't know if you ever finished the season.
I never saw
Okay, that's right. You never watched it. In Game of Thrones, you see them going into rooms with women all over the floor and shit. But
I am curious, if it started in Egypt, I wonder if these brothels existed like when them giants lived, the ones that built the pyramids. Because what if like a giant came into the brothel?
I'm sorry, wait, let's stop for a second. What giants?
You didn't see the giants?
You mean like a Bigfoot thing?
No, like there's like giants. Like so
them niggas was only like 6'2".
No. They were giants.
You think
you ain't
giants,
seen the video?
Like the New York Giants?
It's been going around.
You think giants made the pyramids?
Like giants.
I don't know what's going around.
No,
buddy.
like they was like 12-foot niggas. What if the 12-foot giants went to the brothel and as a woman, like I wonder if they added text to because they had to have big dicks. They was giants. You haven't seen the giants that built the pyramids?
You know what I'm gonna say about adding tax for big dicks though? Where Mandii ain't low key wrong.
Oh,
do you know
what?
Hold on, wait. serious shit I'm about to tell
real
you.
story. Real
The
shit.
Thai girl from Nana Plaza told my man that last time she had sex with a black guy, he was too big, too rough, and she didn't even say big in size. She said he was like football. He was just too rough with me, and so now only Europeans.
Well, being rough is different from being large in size.
Why did she just change the accent?
You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately,
I didn't change it.
But what happened is, unfortunately, maybe she had a bad experience.
Well, no, I meant giant
with a black man. But I will say, my homegirl who used to be an escort, she literally, because she would fuck anywhere from like 4 to 6 guys in a day. I think 6 was her max.
Swag.
She literally didn't want to fuck black guys because they mostly have bigger dicks. That's the consensus. They can go longer. They're stronger. Their dicks are bigger. So she was like, bro, if I'm taking 6 dicks with a black man, I could really only take 1. So she used to not want them
probably
as
be
clients
ready to
because
fuck.
she wanted smaller dicks.
But also,
you know,
the couple thing, like I mentioned yesterday, I think that also kind of like calms you down as a sex worker. But we went to this place called Susie Wong's. It's in Phuket, and I think it's in Bangkok. And it's this ass spanking bar. They just spank you. They're known for that shit. They don't let you use your phone because I would have been got that footage. But we was talking to this bitch. She was fine. She was 13,000 baht. How much is that?
Oh,
that was a bad bitch. I'm not
13,000 baht, 13 times 30.
380.
Oh yeah, because I remember me and him was like, how much is that nigga? Everybody else telling us 6. Nah. But okay, so basically she was telling me she was like really attracted to my man. And a lot of the girls were getting excited by him, but scared. So I think this girl, because it was kind of feeling like a little like offensive, but she said something to me that made sense. She said, all of the European tourists get so drunk, they can't end up fucking you.
Okay.
They just get white boy wasted. She's like, UK, Australia, they pay me all of the money. I sit there, they do cocaine, they pass out, or they're drinking and they can't fuck. And then by that time, I'm like, okay, I got my money. I think them niggas be coming in there from New York like, hey, bitch, you finna throw this
they be
pussy
coming
up.
with the honey pack.
Hello.
Straight from the juice bar.
honey pack?
Straight from the juice bar in the Bronx.
And they probably be talking like it's American money. I paid you $13,000, bitch. You better take a shower and wake up.
I'm going prepared. I will say too, maybe we'll have to do a part 2 because I do want to get into brothels coming not only to, of course, we know the Saddle Ranch out in Nevada, which is crazy because that is like prostitution is illegal in the state of Nevada, however, not that city.
No.
Or the opposite.
Yes.
Or the opposite.
I remember I got my prostitution license on sex sales.
Yeah,
They fingerprinted me
but
and
also
everything.
they used to have brothels literally here in Times Square.
Yes.
So I would love to like dig into the history of brothels within America because the rules have always been so anti-sex work. I just want to know how those were even able to be incepted. So
I want to talk about also the religious, like I watched actually watch this, y'all, and for when we dig into it next time, there is a documentary on Viceland called Prostitutes of God, Devdasi girls in India, and they have sex to feed their families. The money goes to the temple and then goes to their families. Like it's some wild shit. But yeah,
I love that.
I just sold pussy for fun. And these stories be sorry.
Prostitutes all over the place. Love
anyway,
that.
if you want to read our prostitution tales, come into No Holds Barred. Thank you.
There's only like 2 in there. We each have one, and that's it. You're not getting tales like it's a whole bunch now.
It's a lot of chapters for it to be too.
It's a lot of chapters. We got 18 chapters, individual stories, on top of an introduction, on top of what we believe looks like power. Y'all, No Holds Barred, a dual manifesto on sexual exploration and power is available for pre-order now.
Ooh.
Please make sure you get your copy, you support us, and you help us become New York Times bestsellers. Y'all make sure you also pull up to the Black Effect Festival. That's April 26th at the Pullman Yards. Y'all, we are hosting. No live shows from us this year, but y'all get us all motherfucking day. We'll be introducing some of your favorite Black Effect podcasts, and it'll be great.
We finna be drinking coffee like a motherfucker.
And y'all, just so you know as well, if y'all want to party with me, I'll be in Malta for Ibiza Soca. Baby, I told y'all I'm a carnival chaser. So y'all pull up. If you're coming to Malta, May 15th and 19th, let me know if you're going to see me. If you can't make it to Malta, pull up on me in Jamaica, baby. We at Hedonism.
Not this international pussy.
International pussy,
But you don't
baby.
want to talk about, you want to talk about it in America.
Yeah, because I'm
Okay, Malta.
I'm outside with this pussy. I'm outside with the pussy. Anyways, y'all, thank y'all for motherfucking tuning in.
Bye.
Bye. If you are a patron member, that's right, go on over to patreon.com/horrible decisions. That's where you can get all of the X-rated, raunchy discussions about sex. Welcome everybody to another episode of Horribly. This is Yones. I'm your girl Mandii B, aka Full Court Pumps, aka Dat Beach, aka and I got a boyfriend.
Hey y'all, I'm Weezy, and we have one of your favorite guests that was on Horrible Decisions a few years ago. I feel like we just connected on DM. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And literally, I just didn't, I don't know. I felt like I knew how iconic your porn career was, but it didn't really hit me that we would get to walk through so many phases of the evolution of just like even sex in New York, what things were like. We have Cinnamon Love.
That's right, in the building. And y'all, we have a treat for y'all. We have topics we will touch on, no outline. If you want to hear Cinnamon Love in that type of setup, make sure you go check her episode out. But we're really here to talk about, again, the evolution, what you got going on. We're talking a little bit of health. We're talking a little bit of dating. We getting all to it.
Get into it.
I'm glad to see you again. The last time I saw you was in Atlanta.
Yes.
Wait, no, AVN.
Yeah, no, Atlanta.
Atlanta and AVN before
when
that.
When I did Across Generations.
So she did, we booked Cinnamon to do Across Generations, across from Miss B Nasty.
Yeah.
So we were able to talk about porn from the generational lens.
Yeah.
Women and how the autonomy of their body from a generational lens. And it was just really dope to be able to see y'all to do that. By the way, I think the biggest numbers episode for that
wild.
entire season.
What was, when you go to AVN, like, what's your goal now? Because you've kind of like done your thing. So I'm interested in knowing what brings you back.
When I go back to AVN, mostly I'm interested in talking to the meeting the new talent and getting to know them, face to face. As an advocate, as an activist, I'm constantly trying to make sure that people know about the work that I'm doing with BIPOC Collective, so that they can know that there are resources available to them. When last year, I didn't go this year, but last year I gave out 40 units of Narcan. I gave out
Which is what?
Narcan
Like if you OD?
It's like to prevent overdoses. And so like I gave out 40 units of Narcan. I gave out some Plan B. I gave out snacks on the floor because people are on the floor for like 8 hours, 10 hours,
all the things,
drinking. Plan, so it's like Plan B, emergency snacks. I'm like
You're like the house mom.
I'm the fairy the fairy whoremother of the industry. So it's like I walk around, but I want to really make sure that people have the tools that they need to be able to stay safe, and also know that they have someplace to go.
With the BIPOC Collective, are your resources, is it also for, only because when we have our town halls and some of our patrons decide to get into OnlyFans, but at a very amateur level. Yeah. Do your resources help the very amateur level as well? Yeah,
when we started the organization back in 2020, it was designed to help adult content creators, porn performers, who also, many of whom also do full service sex work. Okay. But the goal is to be able to reach people who are doing like adult content creation to provide, to fill in the gap, because a lot of the resources in the industry are either only for street-based workers, or only for full-service workers, or only for porn performers. And there's this internal hierarchy that people have around what it means to be at risk, or what it means to be the most marginalized person in the room. And, because often these organizations, they say, well, we want to serve the most marginalized people. And it's like, well, you could be on OnlyFans and have 20,000, 40,000 followers on Instagram and be living in a motel. Or,
oh my God, that's the craziest thing about watching. Actually, if we ain't even talking about OnlyFans, let's be real with these Instagram models.
Yeah, but and let's talk about musicians. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like people don't get...
Your favorite singers is out here whoring themselves,
broke,
okay?
And broke. And it's like, but that's the reality of the world that we live in. It's like everybody is literally just one illness, one pandemic away from being, one job loss away from being unhoused. And so...
You're making me think of when we interviewed Jenna Hayes, and 20 years ago she was doing porn. Boom. She gets in this activism and talks about wanting to, she's in school to be a therapist, right?
Yes, to be a therapist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Specifically for adult creators. What made you feel, or like, what did you see back in the day that made you think, I got to change this
is the way it is? I mean, I've seen it all. Like, I've had friends who were, experienced domestic violence within their